Right now, there's a good chance sugar is running quietly through your bloodstream. The average person eats about 17 teaspoons of it every single day, most of it without ever noticing. But what happens if you stop? Not for an afternoon, completely starting today. Because your body runs a 30-day timeline that almost nobody ever sees. A craving that isn't hunger, a headache that arrives out of nowhere, and somewhere around day 14, something so strange that people genuinely think their food has been changed. This is that timeline hour by hour. Let's decode it. First, you need to know what sugar was doing in there all along. Every time sugar touches your tongue, sweet receptors fire a signal straight to your brain's reward system. Your brain releases dopamine, the same do that again chemical triggered by likes, wins, and other addictive things. And here's the part that matters. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical, it's the wanting chemical. Pleasure fades after a few bites, wanting doesn't. That gap is exactly where cravings live. Rat studies at Princeton found that sugar can drive binge-style behavior with withdrawal-like symptoms. Your brain, it turns out, takes sugar very seriously. And because sugar hides in bread, pasta sauce, yogurt, even so-called healthy granola, your reward system gets hit all day long, every day. Food labels don't make it easier. Sugar shows up under more than 60 different names: dextrose, maltose, cane juice crystals, rice syrup, same molecule, different costume. And liquid sugar is the worst offender. A soda delivers a huge dose in 90 seconds, with no fiber, no chewing, no fullness signal. Your body barely registers that you consumed anything at all. So when you suddenly stop, your brain notices. Fast. And it has a plan. Hour 0. You eat your last cookie and you quit. For the first few hours, honestly, nothing. Your blood sugar runs on its normal rhythm and your body burns what's already in the tank. Here's what that rhythm used to look like. Sugar hits your blood. Insulin rushes out to clear it. It overshoots slightly. Your blood sugar drops below where it started and your body demands more sugar. That's the spike and crash. Do it 5 times a day for years, and your body starts needing more and more insulin to do the same job. That slow drift has a name: insulin resistance. Around hour 4 to 6, the easy fuel runs low, so your body taps its backup, glycogen, stored in your liver. This part is smooth. You feel normal, maybe even a little smug. Enjoy it, because your brain is about to file a complaint. Somewhere between hour 6 and 24, the first craving hits. And here's the strange part. It feels exactly like hunger, but it isn't. It's your reward system asking for its usual dopamine hit. You'll suddenly remember there's chocolate in the kitchen drawer. That's not a coincidence. That's your brain's memory system teaming up with the craving. There's an easy way to tell them apart. Real hunger accepts anything. Offer it eggs, chicken, a bowl of rice, and it says yes. A craving refuses everything except the exact thing it wants. Cravings come in waves. They build, peak, and fade, usually within 15 to 20 minutes. If you ride one out with a glass of water or a short walk, it dies on its own. Protein helps more than willpower does. A breakfast built around eggs or yogurt keeps blood sugar flat for hours, and a flat line simply generates fewer cravings to resist in the first place. That's the reframe most people miss. This isn't a battle of discipline. It's a chemistry problem. And chemistry problems have engineering solutions. Day 1, down. You've officially made it further than most people ever try, which is why almost nobody warned you about day 2. Day 2. Welcome to the hard part. For many people, this is when the sugar hangover arrives. A dull headache, low energy, and a fuse about 3 millimeters long. Why the headache? Researchers point to shifting dopamine levels and a brain adjusting to steadier blood sugar. It's recalibrating in real time. 2 things make day 2 much easier, and almost nobody does them. Drink more water than feels necessary, and add a little salt to your food. Cutting carbs makes your kidneys flush both out faster than usual. You might feel foggy, like your thoughts are buffering. You might also feel weirdly tired around 3 p.m. That's the gap where your usual sugar spike used to live. Some people even report withdrawal-style symptoms: irritability, restlessness, trouble sleeping. How rough this feels depends almost entirely on where you started. If you drank soda daily, day 2 will be loud. If you only had dessert on weekends, you may barely notice it happening at all. This is the point where most people quit quitting. And the frustrating part is that they're usually 2 days away from the payoff. And there's a trap waiting here. One bite feels like proof that you failed, so you finish the whole box. But quitting sugar isn't a streak you can break, it's a direction you're walking in. But if you push through, and it only takes a few more days, the whole curve flips. Day 4 to 7. The fog starts lifting. Your blood sugar stops spiking and crashing and starts drawing a calm, steady line. That steadiness shows up as something you haven't felt in a while. Stable energy. No mid-morning crash, no afternoon zombie mode. Your mood tends to level out too. When blood sugar crashes, your body releases stress hormones to rescue it. Fewer crashes means fewer of those little chemical panic attacks running through your day. Something changes in your gut as well. The bacteria that thrived on constant sugar start losing ground, and the ones that prefer fiber slowly take over. Researchers are still mapping what that means, but the shift is real. Cravings still visit, but they're quieter now and further apart. Your sleep may improve too. Steadier blood sugar at night means fewer 3 a.m. wake-ups. 1 week in, the worst is genuinely behind you, which is exactly when the strangest part of the entire month begins. Day 10 to 14. Something happens at breakfast that people describe as their food being tampered with. You bite into a strawberry, and it tastes like candy. Your sweet taste receptors, dulled by years of oversupply, renew themselves roughly every 2 weeks. In one study, people who cut added sugar rated the very same desserts as noticeably sweeter after just a couple of months. Foods you used to love may now taste aggressive. A can of soda can genuinely shock you. This is also where the sweetener question shows up. Diet soda removes the sugar, and for many people, that's a genuinely useful bridge, but it keeps the sweet signal alive, and the taste reset you just earned tends to stall. Your taste isn't broken, it's back to factory settings, and that's only the part you can feel. What the last 2 weeks did on the inside is bigger. Day 30. Let's open the report card. Inside your body, insulin, the hormone that manages blood sugar, is now working noticeably better. Your liver, which quietly turns extra sugar into fat, finally gets a break, and liver fat starts to drop. That part deserves a closer look. Fructose, the sugar in soda and sweets, is handled almost entirely by your liver. Send too much, too often, and the liver starts storing it as fat, right there inside itself. This is also the honest answer to the fruit question. An apple carries fructose too, but wrapped in fiber and water, arriving slowly. A glass of juice is the same sugar with the brakes removed. Blood tests often shift by now as well. Triglycerides tend to fall, and blood pressure can ease slightly. Not dramatic numbers, just quiet movement in the right direction. Many people notice clearer skin. Sugar spikes are linked to inflammation and breakouts. The scale usually moves too, often a few kilograms, mostly because sugar was smuggling hundreds of invisible calories into every single day. And the fat that leaves first is often the most useful kind to lose. Visceral fat, the deep fat packed around your organs, responds early to lower sugar intake. You won't see that one in the mirror. And your dopamine system? Rebalanced. Normal joys, food, music, sunlight, start feeling stronger again. 1 month. No superhuman willpower required, just a body doing what it was built to do. So what happens if you go back? Honestly, nothing catastrophic. But the first soda after a month often tastes almost undrinkable, and a big dessert can leave you strangely tired an hour later. That tiredness is a message, not a punishment. It's the spike and crash you used to live inside, now loud enough to actually notice. Which is why 30 days is the point. Not to be perfect forever, but to turn the volume back up so you can finally hear what food is doing to you. Here's the wild part. Your body wanted this the whole time, it just needed you to stop refilling the tank. And of course, fruit is fine. This was never about apples. It's about the 17 spoons hiding in everything else. If you want the easiest possible start, don't quit everything tomorrow. Cut only what you drink. For most people, that single change removes more sugar than every dessert they eat all week. If this decoded something for you, subscribe, because we're doing this to the whole body. And next, we're finding out what 3 days without sleep does to your brain. Trust me, it gets weird.